How you doing?
Good. I think we're ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good about
You feel good?
it. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That is good. Episode 464 of the show radio. Daniela, what is going on?
This weekend is too short and this week is going to be too long.
Because man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks for I think for the both of us. It's been a little crazy, and I think I'm at a point now where I'm like, all right, if this is what it is, then I just have to roll with it. The Went out of town for a couple of days and I came back, but we can kind of go into that if we need to, but I don't think we necessarily have to. Um, what did you do specifically for like gaming stuff this weekend?
Played a lot of Dead Cells. A lot of Dead
Okay,
Cells and okay.
I'm glad. No, I'm glad because I have it in the notes and I was like, did you? I thought I saw you playing that.
Yep, you
So
saw correct.
so you want to talk about it? You talk about
We
it now or later?
we can talk about it later though. But I did that. I played a little bit of Fortnite because I haven't played really in almost 4 weeks, and then that's kind of it. Those are the main two games I've been playing. My son started school started again, so he's back in school in full swing. And
Okay.
then that's kind of it. Kind
Okay.
of it.
All right. All right. So this weekend I went to Play NYC, which is a big indie expo at the Manhattan Center in New York. So I had a lot of fun hanging out over there. So definitely shout outs to Dan Butchko for inviting me to be there to cover it as media. I got a couple of things for that. I'm still debating how I want to post it. I definitely want to post stuff on my Twitch as it relates to some of the conversations that I had. And the show stuff, we definitely want to uh, post a show here at the show radio. So the interesting thing about tonight is a conversation that we briefly had as it relates to where we're going to have a conversation. Was it going to be here on Mixer? So um, we both had some feedback as it relates to this platform versus Mixer. Um, so so I'm still testing out, and I should say we're both still testing out and seeing what we want to do on Mixer. Um, as it relates to the show itself, we definitely both agreed that we kind of miss Twitch, and I think that's where I'll leave that.
Um, both platforms, I mean, Mixer and Twitch aren't bad platforms. But we did start off on Twitch, and it doesn't hurt to see what's out there, but it definitely hurts if we don't choose one that we feel the most comfortable with. And I don't know, Twitch is always going to be home to me. And it's not like me trying to be biased, obviously. It's just that it's the standard in a way. And I kind of miss having and seeing some of our regulars from Twitch and Mixer, but you can't force them to be on Mixer if they don't want to be there.
Right.
So here
Yeah.
we are.
So that's what's going on. That's what's going on with that. So glad to be back here, hanging out with those listening, those watching on Twitch. Definitely check us out. TheShowRadio.info. Once again, that's TheShowRadio.info. The podcast is pretty much everywhere you can find podcasts, wherever that is, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and those things. So episode 464 of the show. First thing, actually, second thing, after the Play NYC stuff, those conversations will be released on Facebook, my Twitch, clips on Twitter. Look for that. Clips on Instagram, YouTube definitely, and I think that's what I'm thinking about right now. So there was an interesting thing that happened this week, Daniela.
What's that?
So I'm sitting on Twitter, and Garyvee, which we talked about, we promote his book here. I went to a signing that he did in New Jersey a few months ago. But he has sneakers that have been coming out. I think he's on his third pair, release, or I should say his third release. And I think recently they came out with kids editions of the sneaker. And then one of the things I said online was, man, I just want a size 12 of the sneakers. I'd be willing to do a review on the show radio. So this guy, I guess as the story, this is part of the narrative as it's unfolding, said, hey, I got a pair of 12s on order. Do you want them? I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, so it says, DM me, the information, we'll sort it out. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I DM the information, and according to like the shipping information, it's actually on the way. Isn't that weird?
I don't think it's weird. It's cool.
I think it's weird because in a day of all the crazy things that could potentially happen on social media, things that we've seen, heard, maybe experienced ourselves, the way that happened for me was like, really, really cool. So it should be here. I'll probably do pictures and stuff on my Instagram. I think we're looking at Wednesday, right? And yeah, so that's what's going on with that as far as the Garyvees are concerned. Garyvee is really, really cool. If you haven't heard of him, prior to today, he's a great entrepreneur guy. He is categorized as a motivational speaker, but he doesn't necessarily, I guess, embrace that. He just tells the truth about what he believes, and as far as work ethic and different things like that. Great books. Jab, 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 right hook is one of them. Crush It is one. Crushing It is the recent one, and I think he's writing a parenting book now that's in the works, and he's on Twitch as well. And he's been doing gaming stuff, retro stuff, and he built a little studio inside, his building in New York City, which is pretty neat. Um, yeah, so that's what's going on with that.
That's very cool. Now, if anybody wants to send me some Jeffrey Campbell's, just bring it out there.
It's interesting, but see, my thing is, as it relates to those things, it's like if you just ask, you don't know, you never know, and I think you should just ask.
I think I would just be in shock. Those are some really expensive shoes. Insane.
What kind of shoes are they?
They're boots. Well, they're heels and boots. I own some Zealots, and I think I got them on sale, and like they were still like $230.
Whoa.
Yeah, seriously, like my favorite pair.
Yeah. And so you have that, and they also recently opened up a TJ Maxx near me, and that thing has been popping ever since it opened. I think this week or this weekend. So that's been a little crazy. I like TJ Maxx. I like Ross. I like Kohl's. Those places I usually find good stuff in clearance for me. Things that I like. I usually just go. I know what I like. I just go and look, and they have it or they don't. Then I just leave. So those stores really has helped me out get some cool stuff. So that's the fashion update for you guys.
Not that we normally do fashion, but
You
here it
know,
is.
that's what's up. That's the fashion update. That's what's going on with that. So yeah. So anything else in the preamble that you want to chat about?
No, we got a lot of good stuff for today's show. We got some stuff about Pokemon, Discord's updates, ROMs, stuff about Ninja later on, which I'm kind of excited to actually kind of talk about that one, but that's later in the show.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So first things first, for technology, the main thing actually for technology is Galaxy Note 9. That's been a conversation with the unveil that Samsung did. The phone is super expensive in terms of specs. It looks really, really good. Wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
I'm trying not to look at anything new as far as tech because I always want it, and I love the Galaxy series. I love I love Samsung products. Period. Lately, they've been just treating me so well, and I'm
Yep.
just trying to hold off for like one more year, just one more
Yeah, but
year.
what? Why? Why?
Well, because I just finished. I opted for the whole pay for your phone in your monthly installments, And I
Okay.
just finished paying for my S7 a few months ago. I know that's like 2 years old. I kind of want to like have a smaller phone bill for at least a year. And I'll wait till it comes out for next year, and I think around then I should be pretty good. I mean, I can put whatever aside that I was paying for my S7 and put that towards, I don't know. I don't know what the next one would be. S10, Galaxy
Yeah.
X. I don't know, but I can hold off.
What about the OnePlus One series? Have you looked at those their phones?
That's supported by Verizon.
Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet.
So if it's not supported by Verizon, I end up being heartbroken because that is actually a really good phone that I would love to check out, but it just no support.
Okay. All
Feels
right.
bad.
So let's some of the specs that I did see. Let me see what uh bigger screen, right? I think it's 6.4 inches. Bigger battery,
Time to look for right now. Bigger, yeah, 6 point.
4,000 milliamp battery, which is 20% larger than the Note 8's 33 milliamp battery. I think it's running as a base 128 gigs, and then further down it talks about the Snapdragon 845 processor running at peak speeds. But the phone, what was it, like a grand? Something like that.
You can't expect that phone to like that. Seems like the right price model, especially for it being the 128 gig model. Um, it's expensive, yes, but there's just so much to the phone than just that. It's not like you're just buying a phone. You're buying like this over-encompassing like MIDI handheld computer.
Right. Right, right.
You
Yeah.
better have a really, really great phone case to go with that. That's all I can say. Phone case and your
Yeah.
phone insurance.
Yeah, that has to be on par. 8 megapixel camera up front, dual 12 megapixel cameras in the rear, variable apertures that can switch between 1.5 and 2.4, and a 2x zoom lens on the secondary cam. Yeah, and I think one of the things I saw that they made available was the wallpapers. I think someone has them zipped and available to individuals who wants to check out those wallpapers without the $1,000 price tag.
What I
And
think
that
is kind of great, even though it is a bit extra money, and I'm always one that runs out of space a lot. I think I have a 128 gig card in my phone, but I think the base for my S7 is like 32 gigs. It's something small, and I'm always constantly having to delete apps or pick and choose. Um, I think for like $250 more, you can upgrade to the 512 gig model. I would definitely jump on that. I know it's a lot to spend that much on a phone, but
right.
I spend probably more time on my phone or on my gadget, on my tablet than I do on my own computer. 'Cause it's always with me. It's always on the go, and I feel like I can actually justify that.
That's fair. Like, what you wouldn't want to do like a card without spending. I mean, the card would be anywhere from what, 60 to like $90. It wouldn't be that much space in terms of like the 512, but it would be a good chunk if you did a card instead, no?
It could be, but I feel like it's a bit faster when it's just like locally installed on the phone itself, and then instead of having to be recalled from the card. And there's also some apps that won't let you migrate it over to an external card, and it has to stay natively on the phone itself.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Fair enough. Fair enough. So that's what's going on with the Galaxy Note 9. A lot of good stuff with that. A couple of things in entertainment. Jim Carrey will play Dr. Robotnik in the upcoming Sonic movie. Microsoft joins Disney's Movies Anywhere service. Any thoughts on that?
I am starting to believe that Jim Carrey There isn't a role that isn't made for him. And
Okay.
I would have never pictured it. I would have never pictured him playing Dr. Robotnik or even ever considering him to be one of the actors. I don't know who I would, but for some reason Jim Carrey wouldn't be on there. And then I think of all these great characters that he brings to life, and I'm like, you're perfect. No matter what it is, it's just you have like he has this versatile personality. Like I would have never pictured him as the Grinch, and you know what? He makes a great Grinch.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's really really good. One of my favorites to date, Jim Carrey. I don't know about his recent movie though. It was like a thriller movie. The last one. I didn't see it yet, so I guess we should consider checking that out
We
and
should. I don't
giving
think
our
I
thoughts on
watched it.
that. So we'll see what's going on with that. Jim Carrey, Dr. Robotnik. What else we have? Yeah, so Microsoft joining Disney's Movies Anywhere service. What's your take on that?
Hmm. I don't know because obviously it's a good partnership, but just my
Right.
overall take for Disney's Movies Anywhere service, I'm just having a hard time accepting having things so spread apart into so many different services and platforms, and I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So essentially, Microsoft has announced recently that they will be joining the Disney Lead Movies Anywhere service, a service that aggregates digital movies you've accumulated into one larger library. The service already includes iTunes, Google Play Movies, Amazon Video, Vudu, Fandango Now, and now has added Xbox Video to its collection. What this means is that movies you get on the Xbox Live service or Microsoft Store can now be stored in this library. And I think they're giving away a free movie. I think Days of Future Past, if you connect the service, you'll be able to get that library and viewable on other non Xbox and non Windows devices. Now, Disney, as you know, is splitting off all the stuff that they had, or taking away, I should say, all the stuff that they had on the Netflix stuff into their service to create their service. And then what's going to be left for Netflix is all the stuff that's already on Netflix now and some of the things that go away on a monthly basis. So my thing is, it's a good thing for Disney, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing for Disney. It's a good thing. It's a smart decision with Microsoft to start jumping in on their service because they're going to do this anyways, no matter what. And I think there's going to be subscribers that jump. It's just, I'm tired of having to like figure out like, oh, okay, where can I watch this? Where can I watch XYZ? And I feel like eventually e like they're going to take their stuff off of Netflix. Obviously, they're going to start their own streaming services. I feel
Right.
eventually they'll like partner with Hulu, kind of like how Hulu has, add-ons to their service for Showtime, for
Okay.
HBO, and then you just pay an extra fee on top of your Hulu fee so that you have it all encompassing. Like I feel like that's what's going to happen, and I'm not too sure how I feel about that. It's like there's no news of it, but HBO Go started their own streaming services, which you can slowly get that, but it's just like one extra app to have to install, one extra site to have to log into. So it almost made sense for them to just partner with Hulu and you have it there. It's all in one place. But now I'm paying for two different services to get the same exact content that I had on one service.
Right.
So
Right.
I
Right.
feel
Right.
it's like it's getting to the point where am I gonna start paying as much as I did for cable? And should I just get cable again? Because the reason why I cut off cable was to save money because everything that I wanted was on Netflix or was on Hulu. Now I have Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Disney.
Yeah, it's getting a little crazy. I think Hulu and Netflix is what we're considering that we're going to stick to, but it's really getting a little crazy with those things, those subscription models. Um, I don't know if I'm fully going to invest in, or if at all, on a Disney thing. It would have to be worthwhile for me to even consider it. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. The service is now officially live after a bit of a false start. Movies Anywhere is only for U.S. customers right now. So that's what's
I
going on with that. Go ahead.
so hold on. I remember as a kid when Disney Channel was a premium service that you had to pay extra for. And I remember when they used to have like a free month or a free week of Disney. Oh, I was so excited just to get it. I'm like, oh my goodness, we have Disney for like free for a week and just binge watch whatever Disney network had. And
Right.
then it turned into just like a normal, typical public channel that was just a part of your package. It wasn't something extra. And now here we are again. You want your Disney content, you might have to just pay a subscription fee for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So that's what's up with that. I want to hear your thoughts on Uncle Pokemon.
this guy, this guy didn't know what to do with his retirement. I can tell you that one. But I was more surprised on the article where he has his phone and he's playing Pokemon Go for 20 hours straight. Like how are you managing to power your what he has 11 phones right now attached to the handle of his bicycle and they can
Yeah.
power his phones for 20 hours straight. I can probably look at Twitter and Discord and Instagram before my battery on my phone. It's like maybe 4 hours. And like
Right.
that's not even a consistent I have them all open consistently. It's like just checking or just messing around, talking to people on Discord before it drops down to like I get that 15% battery range. Like 4 hours if I'm lucky. This guy's playing Pokemon, which absorbs so much more resources and uses so much battery life. I don't know. I want to know how he did this. But I also was
Yeah.
kind of half expecting this article to be like he's capturing these Pokemon and he's like selling off his accounts because he caught some like rare Pokemon or some shiny that is really difficult to get from some special Pokemon Go event and making extra money off of it, which I feel like he should. Because there's a market out there for people who are willing to pay good money for some Pokemon account. That's I
Did you
want
see
to
how
have
much
that
he's
kind.
spending?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's why I'm saying he can turn around and sell that, and he can probably just sell off one account and make that back in a month.
Oh
It
man.
just
That's
but what is great is that on just the flip side of that is that this guy's getting out and about. He's exercising, he's biking, he's possibly meeting new people. He's living his best retirement age life right now.
word. Absolutely. For 1300, he's about 1300. It's a little crazy, but that was pretty cool to see that.
If he's smart, he'll learn how he can like just stream all these things and then people can pay for his cell phone usage.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there's that.
Exactly. So that was fun. So that was cool, Uncle Pokemon. There's a soundtrack that was recently released. The Temples music from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. I think it's more of a rock infused type album, more rock infused stuff, less ocarinas, from what I was reading. So that's going to be in the show notes. And last but not least, for entertainment, Ralph Breaks the Internet. Any comments on those things?
That's one of the movies I'm looking forward to for the November. Cannot not watch it.
Word. So I know you saw Deadpool 2.
Yes, I did.
Yes? Okay, so I gotta watch that and give some impressions, hopefully next show. So I need to do a jump on that. The anything that you watched this week that we can add in.
Oh, let's see. What have I been watching? Um, let's see. I started watching Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Started watching that this week actually. It's already a canceled show. I think there's 5 seasons. I'm on season 3. It's actually pretty good and it's pretty interesting and very believable as far as how Silicon Valley goes with it. Just you know, the building of tech and apps and that whole competitive uh, nature of things. It's kind of interesting to watch. I'm introducing my boyfriend to Westworld because I haven't watched season 2 yet, and he's never watched Westworld whatsoever. So we started watching that.
Okay.
I binge watched season 6 of Orange is the New Black,
Okay.
and that was actually really good, and I super enjoyed it. And I kind of wish I would not binge watch things. And I also watched the movie How It Ends, and I'm going to tell everybody, do not watch that movie. Do not waste your money and time or whatsoever. Like, if you see it on your Netflix suggestions, rate it down instantly. You don't want to watch that. End of the story. I saved you 2 hours of your life.
That bad, huh?
Yes, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
What's terrible though? Like a 3 or 4 or
Like a 1. And the only reason why it gets a 1, I would give it a 0 or a -10 if I possibly could. The only reason why it gets a 1 star out of 10 is because, well, the graphics in CG wasn't so bad. It was actually
okay.
really good. What makes it terrible and a waste of your time is that there's the one film that I actually watched this whole thing that just angered me that I watched. Um, there's no real beginning, middle, or end. It throws you into the situation that just seems like your typical, like, oh, the boyfriend's gonna go and ask father to marry the girl, and then it just goes to hell. You don't know why it all goes to hell and what's happening, gives no explanation, and then you see this like the boyfriend and the father bonding, but then they don't really get to that point where there's a true bond like that happens for them. It just disintegrates, and then that just drops off the end of the road, and it ends with you just going into a cloud of dust, never knowing what's happening around the world, what's happening in the future, what they're going towards, or what they're running from.
Mm.
Terrible. Don't watch it. If it's a book, don't read it. That's how angry
Wow.
I am that I wasted 2 hours of my life watching it.
How it ends.
It
Do
didn't
not
even show
watch
how it
it.
began. That's everything I watched this
that's
week.
that's what's up with that. All right, cool. So a couple things before we get into the video game stuff. This episode is brought to you by ProXPN. ProXPN is a free, easy to use VPN service that secures your internet connection against eavesdropping. Mask your location, allows you to access your favorite sites no matter where you live or travel to get 20% off of your account. Visit theshowradio.info/ProXPN and use the promo code SHORAM for 20% off of the lifetime of your account. This episode is also brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron makes cooking and fun easy. Blue Apron provides you with all the ingredients that you need to make a delicious meal in exactly the right proportions. To get $30 off of your first Blue Apron order, visit theshowradio.info/Blue Apron for that. Daniela, video game news. A lot of cool stuff there. Discord stuff, Cuphead stuff, God of War stuff, and even, as you mentioned earlier, the Ninja stuff. So we'll start off at the very top. Discord store now in beta. Thoughts on that?
I'm kind of excited for this. Even though I use the beta platform of Discord, this isn't open directly to me. It's definitely open towards the Discord Nitro subscribers and users. Already got instant access. If you haven't noticed yet, they have this whole game section of activities that you can. There's some certain games already there that you can just launch from your Discord platform, and you can see what your friends are playing, who's grouped up. It was a really nice quality of life change. So with this, they're aiming and they're testing out a feature to be able to purchase games straight from Discord itself, which I absolutely love the idea. If you guys don't know, we do have a Discord here as well for the show radio. You're more than welcome to join it. I'll have the information here. It is a very free service, and if you are a PC gamer, you'll know that We weren't like lucky like console gamers and to have a built-in party chat system. We either use like Ventrilo or Mumble to be able to have the voice comms, and just Discord made it
Right.
so easy, and it's since a free service. Um, this is actually bringing more income to them, and if they can already just have so much features with the limited money that they have from subscribers to the service, I can only imagine like how much further it would go with a bit more funding through games. But it's not even just that. Just we, I'm tired of having so many like different services, like just kind of like the video services. Like I have Origin, I have Epic Launcher, I have the Battle.net, I have Steam, I have the Twitch Curse app to load all of my games. And it's just, it's such a hassle and just so much that to have something centralized, or to have it to be centralized in the future when it's open to the public, I think is an awesome feature. I would definitely buy games through Discord to support them if they're getting some of the proceeds, I hope. Um, yeah, currently it's not available to me. It's funny because I said I would pay to support them, but I won't subscribe to the Nitro thing. That just does not have enough features for me to justify purchasing $5 a month for. Um, but as far as game was like 100%, I like it. I like having the ability to just launch my game straight from my launcher without opening up anything else.
Word.
That's that.
Cool. No, that's fun stuff. Yeah, Discord has been really, really cool for me. I'm enjoying it more and more because I'm understanding it more and more and taking the time to learn how the different commands work and all the different servers that you can add into it, that kind of stuff. It's really, really neat, especially for us recording the show here, the way we record stuff. And I see a lot of individuals who are on Skype coming to Discord, and it's a very, very great switch in terms of an alternative platform for voice over IP conversations, and all the features that they continually add is really, really fantastic. So that's what's up with Discord. Cuphead sells 3 million. Surprised?
Nope.
Nope. All
That,
right.
that number I feel is going to continue to grow too, slowly but surely. I think the whole peak and the hype of it has definitely died down, but people are still enjoying it. There's people still wanting to play it, and they're probably just waiting for a really good sale too. So with the holiday sales coming right around the corner, that number's gonna go up.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been. I know that Cuphead is difficult based on a lot of the things that I've seen, and people playing the game, and complaints on how difficult the boss stuff were, all that. Um, and you played that, from what I recall, right?
Yes, I did.
Uh, what are your thoughts, even now, looking back at Cuphead?
I wish I played it starting off as a single player rather than co-op, because I didn't know that co-op just adds another whole other level of difficulty. But it's
Right,
fun and it's enjoyable. The music is great, and um it's that nice couch co-op that you kind of forget to enjoy in games, or forget that it's nice just to have that partner sitting with right there next to you.
right. All right, cool.
Plus,
Cuphead.
plus the
Go ahead.
art style, it's still one of a kind. It's still very unique, and it's still in there to have that hand drawn old school cartoon feel. That's kind of it.
Word. The soundtrack was pretty dope too. It was really, really dope. Cuphead, that's what's going on with that. MU Paradise is pulling ROMs to avoid legal actions from Nintendo. Let me actually open that up real quick, because that was interesting to see that some of these websites that have been around for so long are are being targeted for allowing us to have access to these ROMs, which are not legal unless you own the original, that kind of a thing. So 18 years, MU Paradise has been around, according to the blog post, which I'll link in the description, as well as the blog at theshowradio.info, and you can read that as it relates to how they're going to make adjustments uh, so they don't get in trouble with Nintendo. I mean, that's really the bottom line of that. Thoughts on that?
It's sad. Yes, it is a very legal thing to stick with the law. Um, I do I do use ROMs and I do own them. And it's mainly because I personally don't know the process of pulling them off of the original cartridges to be able to create my own, because there's a way for you to do that yourself. And the only reason I ever use it is because, well, the only thing I use it for is my Sega CD. I use it to play. I use the emulator. Emulators are not illegal. It's not a gray zone to play my Sega CD. But there's a couple that I can't get them to read. Like, I own the physical disc. I don't know how to create my own ISOs for them.
Right.
But sites like this made it easy for me, and I made sure that I didn't break anybody's terms of services as far as, streaming it on Twitch. I can always produce, like, hey, I physically own this game. I have it right here. But like, not everybody's gonna stay, a white hat and be a good person and not do stuff illegally. But you got to protect yourself, especially when Nintendo's hunting you down, and Nintendo's ruthless.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing for them. So that's going to be in the description as well as the blog. Look for that. The next thing, Sony unveils translucent PS4 to celebrate 500 million sold PlayStation 4s. This thing looks really, really good. Thoughts on that?
I want it so bad, so
Yes, it's
badly.
really,
I
really dope.
really want it. It looks fantastic. And I have been putting off replacing my PS4 for as many months. And somebody asked me if when my birthday was. It's next Thursday. And I'm gonna get this for my birthday. Even though it comes out after my birthday, it's gonna be a late birthday present. But of all of the limited edition PS4s that have been coming out, this one looks so sick. I love it. And it has like this bluish tint. Oh my goodness. It's going to be available on the PlayStation side as well as their US retailers, and apparently there's gonna have some extra special things like the serial numbers, 09995, which stands for September 9th, 1995, when they released the original PlayStation, 01115 for November 15th of 2013, and 01013 for the US launches PSVR, which is October 13th of 2016. They have like something special. That's kind of what they like limited to, but it'll be available for $499 MSRP,
Word.
or $639 Canadian. I feel bad for Canadians. I don't know how you get used to having such higher numbers. But it scares me when I have to read this. But you also can buy the controllers separately, and I believe that'll be available for $64.99 US dollars there. But let's see, where's the stats here exactly? I know I'm missing it. So it will come with a translucent dark blue console shell, a matching DualShock 4 wireless controller, the PlayStation camera, a vertical stand, and a mono headset. It also comes with a massive 2 terabyte hard drive. And for $499. Oh my god. Makes me happy.
It looks
It looks good.
fantastic. Yeah, it looks absolutely amazing, amazing. So just making some shifts here in the show notes real time. Let's see what we got. Next thing that we're looking at in the show notes is Fortnite. Fortnite, I know you play it. I haven't really played it that much. Fortnite is now on Android. Um, I don't know if that's a technically or not. It is on Android. You just can't get it on certain platforms, right? Or certain
Yeah,
phones.
it's currently, I want to say that they possibly are doing a little partnership with Samsung first, so that it's not going to be available to all Android phones. But they are having and working with Galaxy series phones first. I did not get in yet. I'm still waiting for my beta invite, but there is a special skin that I believe that you can get for it, which I think is actually pretty cool. And that's kind of it. I'll sign up for it and I'll try it on my Android, but it's a lot easier to play with if you stay on the same platform. If you're thinking about doing crossplay, I don't know. Don't even try. Don't even try.
Okay. Now,
I
would
don't
you?
what?
You don't see what? No, go ahead.
I don't see how mobile players, whatever mobile platform they're playing on, can be seriously as competitive on the same playing field as somebody who's playing on a controller or mouse and keyboard. And it's obvious when I'm playing or when I see anybody else playing, you can tell who's a mobile player based on their movements, and it's harsh. Just stick on it. Max Bunny says, with the right gamepads, you can be.
Yeah, it's the other thing I didn't notice. What's up, Max Bunny? The other thing I noticed was the fact that some individuals are trying to download the Android version, via the APKs, and how some sites are recommending you should not do that. So there's definitely a conversation surrounding that as well for the Fortnite for Android. So be careful with that at your own risk if you decide to download a Fortnite on Android outside of the, I would say, recommended devices, if that's a thing right now. Be careful with that. Any final thoughts on that?
Nope.
All right, cool. Capcom would rather a critically acclaimed game instead of a high selling one. Thoughts on that?
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I would be more proud of a product that is polished and loved, and even though it doesn't have high sales and numbers, the the quality of it is just greatly appreciated. I'd rather have something that is fully done and I can be proud of than something that is super rushed and like, here you go, that's what you get. I'm going to be comparing Resident Evil and Street Fighter 5, or just Street Fighter in general.
Whoa. Whoa. Why'd you go there?
The netcode is bad, and everybody knows the netcode for Street Fighter is bad.
Is it that bad though? I mean, you can play.
It's bad.
It's bad, huh? Okay. Fair
But
enough.
they rush it. I
Resident
mean,
Evil is
people are
really
gonna
good.
buy it, and they're gonna send out whatever patches. They're gonna do whatever they possibly can. But um, you know what they're coming out with, especially I'm looking forward to all the Resident Evil stuff. Is they do a really great job for an amazing game. I love their series. Love Resident Evil 7. I'm gonna love this new remake too as well. I don't think anything's wrong with that.
Word. Yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. I liked the fact that they took the time to even, address it, because not everybody's going to be, loving everything you put out. And if you, like you said, if you know that you did the best that you can with the project and the creating process and design and implementation, and now that it's out to the world and you feel very awesome about it, then sometimes you can get 1 million, maybe 2 million really quickly. Sometimes 3 million takes a longer period, right? As we've seen from games in the past. So it's nice to see that they even address that. Next thing that we have is God of War New Game Plus. Okay, so I definitely want to open that up because that's going to be launching on the 20th of August. God of War New Game Plus will be available as a free patch update on August 20th. That's our 4th month anniversary already, according to the blog post. To access all the greatness of New Game Plus, you'll need to complete the story campaign of God of War on any difficulty. If you already did, New Game Plus will be ready and waiting for you on August 20th once you've patched. Thoughts on that, Daniela?
No matter the series, I've never been one for the new game plus stuff. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who are super like, I want to run through this game so many
Yeah.
times and increase the difficulty. That's just not me. As much as I love God of War, I still haven't even started it. I don't even when I do get to beat it, I don't know if I would go through it again. I guess I'll know in there, but
Okay.
I know a lot of people are super excited for it.
Word. Word. A couple of bullet points they have on the blog post: relive the journey of Kratos and Atreus with all of your previous armors, enchantments, talismans, resources, and abilities on the difficulty of your choosing. Test your skills against higher level enemies. Unique New Game Plus is a brand new rarity level of equipment to craft, and way more bullet points on that. Definitely check that out on the blog post on the PlayStation blog. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I think one of the things I'm really excited about is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Daniela. That that right there is, I mean, after what we saw at E3, I was just like, wow, I may have to play this.
I'm just gonna like this off comment here. I could have sworn that my neighbors did the yard yesterday. Like they were weed whacking and mowing for 2 hours yesterday, and their yard is the same
Word.
size as mine. And here they are, weed whacking and mowing again. Like, what did you do yesterday? Are you working in my yard now? Okay, if they are, I wouldn't be mad. So if anybody knows what that sound is, that's my neighbors, and I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, and Shadow of Destiny are games they make good use of. New Game Plus, says Max Bunny. Thoughts on that, Daniela?
True story. They do.
Nice. Nice. So that's what's going on with that. Shadow of, let's go back to this tab here. Shadow of the Tomb Raider lets you adjust the difficulty of puzzles independently. Is that something that you are excited about?
Yes.
Why do you say it like that?
I don't know. I think they should just all be one standard difficulty, to be honest. I think
So
that
let's
just makes it too
expand
easy.
that.
I think it takes it away and just accept the challenge. Come on, it's just a puzzle.
Yeah, the on the Square Enix website for Tomb Raider, play the way you want in Shadow of the Tomb Raider with new accessibility, selections, and customizable difficulty settings. Go beyond the single toggle for altering gameplay and say hello to new options like optional Y-axis inversion, reducing camera shake, the option to tap rather than hold left trigger to aim down the sights, etc., etc. That's going to be posted in the show notes. If that's your thing and you're looking for more excitement in your life, definitely check out the blog post for Tomb Raider via Square Enix Games.com. That's Square Enix with the dash between Square and Enix, that kind of a thing. So final thoughts?
Just do it. Don't
Just
be
do
weak.
it.
Don't be weak and make it easy.
Just do it. Let me just check one thing with okay, so yeah, sound check is really good, looking good. Still. Okay, so this week in Bungie 8/9/2018, there's a lot there. They released the content reveal stream earlier this week. If I remember correctly, that was cool with all the adjustments that they're making for the game, for the weapons, for the random rolls, for the time to kill, for the as well as the supers and all the things that we're going to enjoy. But this particular one covers the kinetic, the weapons that are moving to kinetic slots, which includes Alone as a God, Perfect Paradox, the Frigid Jackal, Silicon Neuroma, that kind of a thing. Further down in particular blog post, they have the Destiny 2 Forsaken Dreaming City trailer. If you have not seen that, definitely look for that. And in terms of how individuals will appreciate other individuals' armor because of the difficulty and the time that they took to get, they talked about that. They also mentioned there's a section for the milestone in that particular blog post. As I scroll down, Quick Play is going to offer you powerful gear and the different things that you can do for those. Complete 0 out of 5 matches, 1 out of 5, that kind of thing. That's going to be adjustment made for that. The base strike playlist for Destiny 2, that there's update and modifiers for those the strikes. Heroic strikes are being retired on August 28th with Destiny 2.0. Forsaken players, the strike playlist will have 3 difficulties to select from: 300, 400, 500, and they go into depth as far as that's concerned. Between August 28th and September 4th, modifiers will be unavailable for all strike playlists. Nightfall activity is being adjusted. Prestige difficulty is being retired, but the base difficulty for the Nightfall activity will increase. So they talk about that. Meditations, they talk about that in that particular update as well. Economy updates, look for that in there. The what's it, Iron Banner comes back August 14th to the 21st, so look for that. The actual things that you used to go to in Iron Banner, they're going to be changed. And what I mean by that is the Iron Temple fire pits have replaced the usual control flags, so look for that in Iron Banner if you decide to play it between the 14th and the 21st of August. Power enabled will be activated in Iron Banner as we get the new stuff in season 4. Iron Banner will be updated to enable power level advantages. That's a thing. Factions is going to be on a hiatus. Eververse, there's some changes being done there as far as the goals and philosophies. That's in this particular update. And bounties, prismatic matrix, bright dust, collection of Eververse items, bright engram updates, all that stuff is going to be in that. And also the Crucible Labs. I think that's coming back as well, because I think that was on the bottom of that particular thing. There's some conversation surrounding Crucible Labs. Any thoughts on that, Daniela?
That's a lot. That's a lot of dates. No, I'm good. Sorry, I realized I was muted. I told you I muted myself for the stream, but not from you. So sorry.
So
I'm super
like,
professional.
wow, Daniela is in deep thought. The wisdom that we're getting ready to receive is powerful.
No, I said that's a lot of updates.
Yeah.
No.
So
I got nothing added on stage. Just that's a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. Double Valor Week comes back on August 10th, ends on the 17th. Triple Valor Weekend comes in 17th to the 21st. Final Double Valor Weekend is 24th to the 28th. And yeah, so I definitely wanted to capture that stuff that's happening with Destiny. As you know, I play it. It's a love-hate relationship with me and Destiny 2 right now, and it's more love than hate, but randos really get on my nerves. Yeah, that's what's going on with that. Red Dead Redemption 2. I know you're a pirate person, you're not necessarily a cowboy person, but did you get a chance to experience the Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay trailer that was released recently?
Yes, I did.
Nice.
I can appreciate how amazing the game looks and how exciting can be. I really like every time I see more and more about it though, I'm not disinterested, but I'm not interested to play it. Like if somewhere down the line that it came free, like I'm talking probably like 2 years from now, or 2 years after its release, that it's free on Games with Gold, then sure, I would jump in and play it, or if somebody just offered it. I guess I'm missing the entire highlight of just being a cowboy. Because we've been looking at the trailers, we've been checking it out. There's so much information that's coming out. And for me, I think I'm saying that it just misses the target with me. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad game at all. I know so many people who are so incredibly hyped and excited, and they're clearing out their schedules just for this game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a major. I guess we can call it an ongoing game, right? That's safe, right?
I would say so.
Yeah, so it's going to be a major ongoing game for Rockstar. And Rockstar, as you know, do huge games that sell. What was the last number for GTA 5? It was like 90 million or something like that.
Ridiculous.
Something crazy, right? Right. So you have that. So I'm looking forward to seeing, since I never got a chance to play the first Red Dead. This one is really interesting to me because of the narrative and all the things that you're doing in the game. But there's so many hours that you're going to be able to pour into that. And then for me, it's going to be tough, especially with all the Destiny stuff and games that I really want to invest in. But because most of the games that we're enjoying are something slash RPG, it's going to be very difficult to move away from bread and butter. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. But if you have not checked out the trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2, the recent gameplay trailer that was released, you should, because it is amazing. I mean, everything according to what it said is in-game footage. It looks beautiful. Bird's eye view looks beautiful. Horses looks amazing. Grass looks amazing. Characters looks, pretty dope. So definitely check that out. The next one. Okay, so so Doom Eternal official gameplay reveal that took place. QuakeCon was this past weekend,
Yep.
or yeah, it was okay. So yeah, so Doom Eternal official gameplay reveal. Daniela, it's yours.
That thing looked insane.
Yeah,
Absolutely insane. Like, I feel that those graphics for Doom are definitely going to be ones that's going to push your system to its limits. I thought it looked amazing. I don't have any other words. I wish there was a greater word than that. But oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. On the reveal gameplay, they showed off, Hell on Earth and Phobos, which is something that they're going to be introducing as in like their diverse worlds. I was kind of amazed by that whole grappling hook that they used, and he grabbed out to the person, he flew across towards them, and then just like blasted them. I was like, wow, this is gonna be very gory. This will not be, those will be one of the days. If you're set for family friendly, it just won't be family friendly that day that you're
nah,
playing
it definitely
Doom.
won't be. It definitely won't be that day. I have mixed feelings about it though.
What? Okay. What are your feelings?
Okay, so I definitely agree that Doom Eternal looks fantastic. As you said, amazing. But for me, I don't. The repetitive nature of that game is not appealing to me because if I understand correctly, there's no multiplayer in that, right?
I don't think so, but
I
I could
don't
be
I don't
wrong.
think so either, unless it's something that they haven't announced for that game. So after a while, even in Destiny, strikes can get boring because of its nature, right? Even though that's multiplayer and I don't if I'm not being challenged in the experience, yeah, the monster level difficulty thing is cool, but I'd rather complain that a rando is hiding in a corner with a graviton lance and that's the enemy that I'm faced with, and I have to figure out how to overcome that 1v1 experience. But getting back to Doom Eternal, that is a campaign game. That's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful campaign game, great weapons. I'm not taking anything away from that. Please hear me very, very carefully. I'm not taking anything away from that. What I am saying is, after it's all said and done, with the knife that pops out of your left arm and the grappling hook, which is pretty dope, and all the monsters that for me, that experience will be. I'll probably just do it one time and then not look at it again. But that's me.
That's how I kind of feel about God of War too. I mean, once you get through the story and that's all done, and then what? Then you have New Game Plus.
Right.
Kind of it. I mean, that's essentially what Doom is. It's just that shoot 'em up game that people just enjoy the gore, and that's their audience. I mean, I totally know what you get, like what you mean and what alluding to.
Right.
It looks amazing because I kind of fall in that category. I can appreciate it for what it is and the fans that it's gonna hit. It's not something
Right.
I'm gonna play. I don't really I haven't played Doom in like a very 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 long time. But I know people who love it, and I'm hyped up for them. And I think it looks really, really great, just running around shooting and just the way that it
Yeah.
implements it. Um, Definitely for those gore fans.
Yeah, there was a time where I enjoyed games like that. To be fair, there was a time where I enjoyed games just for the sheer let's just keep going around stage 1 to 5, 7, 9 or whatever and just killing things and that's it. Contra was a game that I played multiple times and I can go through it even today where it was the same thing. You do the 6 to 8 stages or whatever it was and then you just rinse and repeat. And I think as I mentioned in other shows, Destiny highlights that Contra for me, where there's a lot of elements that are repetitive, and I don't mind redoing them because of the nature of the game. But when I saw how excited the individuals are for Doom Eternal, that was refreshing to me. That tribe is so amped up. You got people screaming out in the audience, give it to me, like let me see it, the new updates and stuff like that. So I was really hyped for that crowd. And I can appreciate that for the individuals who are excited about their game, whatever that is. So that's what's going on with that. More time on that than I thought we were going to spend, but that is awesome. Okay, so yeah. So this thing here was interesting. The streaming with women is not a thing that Ninja's considering. Too much gossip or uh, anything that come out of that could be crazy because of how huge he is as an influencer. Depending what you want to call him. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that, Daniela.
I want to hear yours first.
Uh, um, I think that. Why'd you spin it like that? That's crazy. So I think that I understand where he's coming from. Um, I don't think, but I can't, you know, I'm not huge like he is, right? So I don't think that those things will necessarily occur. But when you're that famous, if you want to say that, everything is scrutinized for you. So, I've been married for 18 years, right? The show's been around for almost 10 years. I've never really had any crazy experiences where it challenged. Um, I had some stints here and there, with different situations on social media, but nothing crazy where everything I say, everything I do is under the magnifying glass. So I can't relate to that, but I can understand where, because of where he is in the entertainment industry, if you want to say that, you really have to be careful of what could potentially be an issue as it relates to your character, integrity, and stuff like that. And then you're making sure that everything is all right at home, with your wife and stuff like that. So I kind of understand that aspect of it. But for me, if I'm cool with somebody, and I don't know if I've probably shared this with you, is I'm more cool with females than I am with dudes, because to me, females have always kept it real with me. So most of my great friends, including you, are females. And when I speak to them, I know what I'm going to get. I know there's not going to be an ego thing. There's not going to be an ego trip. There's not going to be this whole pride stuff. So I have no problem. I think I gravitate more to females than I do dudes naturally because I just know what I'm getting in the package as far as conversation, intellect, those things, logic, and all that. So to him, it is what it is. I kind of get it. For me, that's never really been that case because I understand, my relationships with the individuals that I have them with. So that's always been an interesting thing for me. And even I shared that with my wife recently after I walked out of a auto parts store recently. I'd rather talk to females, and she knew exactly what I meant, but she kind of joked about it. But it was like, okay, it just it's always been easier for me to talk to females, that kind of a thing. So I'm really the opposite of him. I don't mind playing games with females or anything like that, or chatting with them, or podcasting with them, collaborating with them, talking shop with them. I just flow better with females, and that could be read however you want to read that. But that's just I'm good with that. But in his situation, I kind of get and I respect it.
All right. I think I have the opinion that's not the favorite opinion. And I think some people are actually surprised by it, considering that I am in a community that's very, very um thinking forward as far as promoting women in streaming, in gaming, in technology. And that they would assume that I'd be like, well, that's really messed up and, that's wrong. I'm actually the in complete opposite. I 100% agree with his decision. I respect his decision and I understand it as well. Um, I think he has every right to say that he doesn't want to stream with females because I know what he means. I mean, it's well, let me start from the point that a lot of people's stance on it that I've come across is that they believe that he has this great power of influence and that he can control and change the way that the male community, as far as gamers and streamers, perceive women and partnering with them and working and collaborating with female streamers. He has that power to. Yes, he does. He has a lot of influence, but that is still a lot for one person to take on that responsibility to show that way forward by himself. And I think it's a very much a two-part thing on that, and I'll explain that a little bit later after my thought on this. So his whole stance, the only thing that I don't like that he said, he's like, you won't stream with female streamers. I don't know why it is. I don't like him using the word females. Like, why not use women streamers or something? That I don't know what it is, but just him using the word female just felt so weird. But because he is so popular, and that any little thing that he does, it's going to be scrutinized every little bit. And there's people who are purposely subbed and follow him to find out these tiny little things that he messes up on, whatever they may be, so they can make videos and start rumors and build up their own popularity off of somebody's shortcomings because he's only human and not perfect, to blow up and create rumors. So can you imagine how incredibly ruthless the internet can be if he was, like, taking his example, he was streaming with a female. He made a joke. She laughed at it. Maybe she used the wrong tone when she laughed at it, but it literally meant nothing. Which happens a lot. Like, people's words can be misconstrued no matter how it is. And only the person that says it will understand. So that can blow up into this a rumor like, oh, is there having an affair? Is there something, is there something more hidden behind that laugh? Like, they'll make something out of nothing. And then those rumors is just like a wildfire that you can't put out once they're started. And because of that, people will believe rumors no matter what is said about them. And then not only does the female streamer that he partnered with have to deal with whatever harassment that she's going to get, he's going to have to deal with it. His wife is going to have to deal with it. And because the internet is the internet, they will go out and find out, like, oh, where does this guy live? And start harassing his family. Why they're going to harass either one of these parties' families? Don't know. Internet needs no explanation. They're going to do it because they can and because they feel they have the right to. And I feel he took the road of less evil. And even though it was still wrong in some sense, he did what he felt, I think, is better for him, for his relationship with his wife that he loves and respects, and for anybody else that may have to deal with it indirectly. That was the lesser evil, because right now in this stance, it's just him taking the grunt of it. And he puts it out there. He's very proud. Like, it's not like his, I don't know, however many million fans that he has doesn't know he's not married. He's very proud of that fact. But that is his way and his form of showing he's established and built his relationship and respects his relationship with his wife. And this was something that he decided on way before he became as popular as he was, is that it is something that he just didn't want to deal with down the line, and you can't fault him for that. I mean, it just makes sense. Like, why, if you have the option and the choice to reduce a headache, a trouble for yourself, why not take it? Even if you might not be liked for it, but overall it's better. I think any same person would take that same logic and just go with it. Plus, he says of a huge stature, it's already hard enough for him to manage his career, manage keeping his community happy, building up his management, but he also has to take care of his home life. He has to take care of his relationships. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous for anybody to be upset at him for making those decisions. And I fully get it. I fully respect it, because even as a very, very much small, I'm like minuscule, almost nothing compared to his stance. I still get problems with like, oh, well, why did you like that? And like, there's people who misconstrue the way that I talk to them or the way I laugh at their jokes as me flirting with them when there's nothing there. Absolutely nothing. There's like no hidden intentions behind it. Just maybe I thought you were funny. Maybe I liked it. But just because I liked your joke or like your thoughts, like people take those things and take it a step further. It's like, oh, maybe you like me. So if I can have those problems on such a small scale for myself, I'm not getting hit up or getting any hate mail for it. Can you imagine if somebody who has that popularity by a million folds? It's insane. I don't understand at the same time why it's any of our business about who he chooses to stream or not stream with. If his sole purpose of not streaming with women is because he respects his relationship with his wife, honor that man. There's nothing wrong with it. If it's like I know for myself, if my boyfriend, if there's like something I felt something weird about it, or made me feel insecure, or I just didn't feel comfortable, or if I didn't even want to deal with the headache of somebody hitting me up like, oh, he's playing with another woman, who it is, I feel confident enough that I can go to my boyfriend and say, hey, could you just limit it to men for a while and just stream with them? He would respect it and he would do it. I'm not saying that she asked him to do that, but it avoids that whole confusion that happens. And I mean, for me personally, I would love if I could stream with all women. I really would. But there's so many limited women that are choosing or wanting to work with other women. And then having the same, like, even though I have a whole pool of women at girl streamers to choose from, it's having that common interest about the games that we want to play together. That it's almost easier to play with males, but at the same time, you know, you can always be misunderstood, no matter how good your intent is. That it's just easier to go the path that has less resistance, less headaches, less hassle. And it just blows my mind, and I feel so bad. And there's people that hit him up that just don't respect him because he made that choice. It's not like he went out and said like, oh, I don't want to play with this XYZ race. And I've made this comment too in another Discord, another server, is that if I'm sure if he said, I know it's completely two different things between race and between sex, but you know, then I think that's when we all have the right to dive into, well, why won't you play with a black guy? Why won't you play with an Asian guy? Why won't you play with a Mexican girl? Then I can understand us getting on his case and having this huge riot over it. But it's not like he is saying that women aren't worth his time. It's not like he's saying that women are thoughts. He just doesn't want to stream with them. And even if he did, I feel like because his name and his brand is so huge, he has to have like this insane filter. I think he does. I feel like he does it with the men that he streams with too. There's a core set of group of people that he plays with that falls into the personality, and some of them that came up with him. But when you get to that popularity, you also want to make sure that the people that you're collaborating with aren't trying to just ride your coattails and make a name of themselves. And that's a huge thing for him to navigate and to filter through. And I feel that if he added on somebody based off of those criteria, even though I think he has the right to do that, he'd probably be scrutinized for that too. And it sucks for him, and that comes with just that popularity. On that same note, when people are talking about he has that platform to create a positive change and he can't be the only one, I feel that also falls on female streamers at the same time. If you want this one man to change the way that the term girl streamers or female streamers or whatever it is seen, women have to change with that as well too. We have to come to some level of agreement that if we want change, we have to be a part of that change too. It can't just fall into one person. It doesn't, just because you're asking somebody else to do something that you want done, you have to be a part of it as well. And if you're not going to be, then nothing's going to change and you can't be mad about it. Very sad.
This message has been approved by the show radio. So that's what's going on with that. Good stuff. Daniela, the ninja stuff has been circulating this past week as it relates to not streaming with women, not because he doesn't respect them, but because he is very, very concerned about his relationship and his brand. So that's what's going on with that. Bethesda police on reselling games. Your thoughts on that, Daniela?
My thoughts are just exhausted now.
You're done?
That's where I'm at. Yes, I'm tapped.
I'm done with this episode. Let me see what's going on. Let's just give some backdrop on that. So this person got this game, and they got the game, and they decided that they weren't going to get the game because they got a PC. So they decided to take this sealed game and sell it on the Amazon selling marketplace thing. And apparently Bethesda didn't like that, so they sent the Bethesda police on that situation. So in a nutshell, that's what that is. I'll have a link in the show notes as it relates to that. You can also swipe the descriptions and you'll see all our show notes for this episode, which is 464. Daniela, what's up on that?
So tapped out.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we're gonna roll with it. Okay, so according to this was I think Polygon posted that Philadelphia resident Ryan Hub purchased a copy of The Evil Within 2 with the intention of later getting a PlayStation 4 to play it on. He eventually decided to upgrade his PC instead, which made the sealed PS4 copy of the game he had useless for him. So like many people with a game they no longer want to keep, he decided to throw it up on the Amazon marketplace. He posted it as new since he hadn't broken the seal on it yet. That's what's going on with that. After posting the listing, Hub received a letter from Bethesda's legal team, Voris. The letter threatened him to take the listing down or face legal action. And that's pretty much in a nutshell what that is talking about. That snippet from Game Informer's thing as it relates to what we're talking about right now. So was that I don't know, how do you want to phrase that? Do you think Bethesda went too far? Do you think, I mean, because if I have a sealed game and I don't want it, and it's, let's say it's a duplicate copy of a particular thing, should the legal action of that particular company come after me because I'm trying to sell the game?
I guess, I mean, much of a difference is it between, I guess it's a huge difference between listening at used and new. I mean, technically, visually looking at it, it is brand new. It wasn't opened. But there, I guess Bethesda's whole thing was, well, it doesn't have a warranty on it anymore, so it's not classified as new. And then he's not an authorized seller. I thought you could. I thought as long as you have your Amazon account, I guess I gotta look into that more. As long as you have an Amazon account that was in good standing, you could still authorize to resell stuff, because I have that option.
Yeah.
So I'm just guessing that it's just as long as it's not new and you're only listing it as used, that's okay. He has since did take it down, but that is a bit of annoyance because it is brand new. I mean, I guess it'd be better to just go with Craigslist and sell it on Craigslist, and maybe you'll get your money's worth out of that, and then it's a bit more of a less headache. Don't go back to GameStop. I'm just gonna tell you that. There's no point in going to GameStop. You're not gonna get anything for something brand new. They don't even take trade-ins that are still sealed. So you're gonna, like, GameStop will force you to open it.
Okay. All right, so I just want to read this real quick. Selling in some categories require prior approval from Amazon. For more details, see categories and products requiring approval. Okay, so I was trying to see if page creation restrictions, product. Yeah, yeah, I definitely want, like you said, to look into that some more. I didn't think it was like a big thing that you had to do to become or consider the Amazon seller situation. The Facebook Marketplace is pretty open. Craigslist, as you mentioned, it is what it is. eBay, we already know how that works for the most part. If you don't, just Google that. Yeah, and that's pretty much where we're at.
Max Bunny says, I don't think they would win in court. What judge would rule against him? Their problem was with his listing it as new and not him selling it. I think when people come to you with some kind of legal action, honestly, I don't think even Bethesda thinks like there's no way he's going to take this to court or to trial or anything like that. It's for small things like this, it's more of a scare tactic because apparently people and companies just don't know how to be like, hey, you know, your thing isn't brand new. Can you take it down and list it as used because of this
Right.
XYZ reason? I think it's always a scare tactic. I don't think they ever have any intentions of taking him to court because that is a very petty thing to go to court for. It's a lot of waste of money, but it's just easy to do it this way than, be nice.
Absolutely.
Hi,
Absolutely.
Tiger.
Yeah, so what's going on with that? That's what's going on. Let me just flip back to the screen. What's up, Tiger? Thanks for hanging out in the stream. Next thing we have is a Nintendo Switch Online. Nintendo Switch Online. That's going to be what was it? $3.99 for 1 month, $7.99 for 3 months, $19.99 for a year, and $34.99 for a family membership. It gives up to 8 people the ability to use the service. Thoughts on Nintendo Switch Online,
That
Daniela?
pricing point is genius, especially for that family membership. That's almost half the price of PlayStation Plus and an Xbox Gold yearly membership. So, in addition to being necessary for playing online play, Nintendo Switch Online includes a variety of perks, including access to a compilation of 20 classic NES games such as Dr. Mario, Super Mario Bros., Donkey Kong, and The Legend of Zelda.
Word.
Oh, Nexus Raid. Hi. Thank you for the raid and welcome.
What's up? Appreciate it. Thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. Marcus, what's up? Yeah, we got the spam. Okay, so I gotta adjust the
Your
stuff not
Nightbot,
only for, yeah, not
your
only for this
strict
channel,
Nightbot.
but for my channel too. Altaka, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. This episode 464 of the show radio. We're actually uh going to talk about the Nintendo Switch stuff, and Danielle is going to give us some thoughts and impressions on Dead Cells. And I've been hearing so many good stuff about that, and I want to hear your thoughts for sure. So, Nintendo Switch, I know it's something that you're still considering. You did mention earlier in this episode that you're going to be getting the PlayStation 4, the new one, the 500 million anniversary edition of that particular PlayStation 4. So, any final thoughts on Nintendo Switch Online?
Yeah, I think it's just a great price point. I mean, we don't have a Nintendo Switch here, but I think kind of game changing for me that it's gonna have this family membership option for $34.99, up to 8 people. Okay, so kind of off topic, but this was brought up by my best friend because we were talking about kids and the perfect family size, blah blah blahs, and that we're talking about family Disney vacations, and that if she has one more kid, it'll be a family of 5, and how all family vacations is like ideal for 4 people. Like if you took a Disney cruise, a cabin is set for a family of 4, a hotel is set for a family of 4, everything is set for a family of 4. And it's like, do people not realize that some families are really huge? Like
Yeah,
my family, I'm the oldest of blood. I'm the oldest of 5. Of the married in, I'm the second oldest of 8. That makes a family of 10, you know? And that's huge. So this one is like considering, like Nintendo knows, it's like, we got some big families here. Here's for 8 people. 8, I can do. I can like with that, I can still have like 5 more kids. I'm not gonna have 5 more kids, but I'm just saying I have the option of adopting 5 other kids.
Right. Now, it's like you said, it's definitely genius according to the way they set up the plan. For those coming in relation to the Nintendo Switch conversation, so the Switch Online will cost $399 for 1 month, $799 for 3 months, $19.99 for a year, $34.99 for a family membership, which gives up to 8 people the ability to use the service. And as you mentioned, Daniela, 20 classic games such as Dr. Mario, Super Mario Brothers 3, Donkey Kong, and The Legend of Zelda. That service is actually going to be rolling out by September 30th. So definitely consider that if that's what you're looking into for Nintendo Switch. Last but not least, and since you guys and gals joined because of the raid for Streamer Nexus, if you have any Q&A before we close out, definitely throw those in the chat. We can cover that while we're here. The last topic on this particular episode 464, is going to be Daniela speaking to us about Dead Cells, her impressions and thoughts. Daniela, what's up?
I guess my question to everybody who just came reading the chat. I just finished my soapbox talking about the thoughts of Ninja choosing. If you guys don't know who Ninja is, he's one of the most popular Fortnite players currently as of right now. And his statement of he won't stream with women. And my stance is actually opposite of everybody else. I think I respect him. So I'm just wondering what everybody else's thoughts are in that. Let us know in chat and we'll talk about this. While you guys think of your thoughts over there. So Dead Cells. Um, I am pleasantly surprised that I actually like it. It's not really typically my type of game that I've been gravitating to for a while, but it was given to me and I love it. It is absolutely punishing. Very, very much kind of like how Dark Souls is punishing. You have to, learn different baddies, patterns in the way it plays, and it's a platformer. It's a Metroidvania roguelike platformer, and you die a lot. There's a lot of grinding to collect cells, which are drops that baddies will randomly give to you to upgrade your skills, unlock weapons and abilities, and it is built 100% for speedrunners. It's just like it's obvious. It's very much in there that there are shorter cuts for people who reach their speed runs to make the game even faster for themselves. I personally have played. I think I have like 15 hours into the game so far, and I've only beaten the first boss twice. I think it is. Um,
Why twice? Is that you have to go back to the boss or
well,
something?
every
Or,
time that you die, you start all over again.
I
So
mean, what? What? Wait, no.
yes,
It's
it's
that
a
kind of a
sing.
game?
Yeah, one life. So
Oh, wow.
once you die, you start from the beginning and you start all over again. But and that's kind of the reason why I don't really gravitate those towards those kind of games, is because of those. It's not like it's a permadeath. It's just that hopefully every one of the blueprints that you find, if you find one on your run, blueprints unlocks different weapons, different abilities, and in between levels you can go and put cells or towards it to unlock them. As long as you make it to that like little checkpoint area, you'll get them. If not, you die, you lose it, and you start all over again.
Right.
But what I like about this is that I can actually feel and see myself get better every single time I play. And I don't feel like I get that from playing Dark Souls
Okay.
or
Because.
Neo. I don't know. I really don't know. But I don't feel like I personally don't ever feel that satisfaction of being able to improve myself. In this game I do, and it is so incredibly rewarding. Even though it's super punishing, um it's rewarding. Like when I beat the boss for the first time, I was so incredibly overjoyed. Like I had to contain myself from like screaming in joy. If it wasn't like 1 o'clock in the morning, I would have just like let a really loud yell of excitement.
So, what's the mechanics for the boss, the first boss? Like, can you talk about that a little bit?
I can't even remember the first boss's name because I've only came across him like twice. Well, no,
No, that's fine. Like,
I failed. But
what kind
basically,
of fight is it?
what he does is like when you get to the level, he only goes left and right. I think all the bosses pretty much have that because it is a platformer. So he'll like throw this like grounding punch into, this grounding punch, and then it sends out flames that shoots out to the side. So it's pretty much you have to jump up to avoid being hit by the fire, and then he'll do this prepare to like launch and lunge at you, and it has the iframe so that if you roll at the perfect timing that he's launching to attack you, you can roll right past him and take no damage. And then he'll turn around and he'll start doing his like trumping walk towards you again, and you do whatever, get as many hits in as you possibly can, and you kind of rinse and repeat from there. And then he and also like at I want to say when he's around 75% health, I think. He puts on like this shield barrier that if you walk into it or if you're in vicinity of being touched by it, it does do repeated damage over you. So you have to get out of that, and it's very easy to be cornered by him. I have a very, very cheesy strat of beating him. There are attachments or like skills, pretty much your skills that you can get and pick up as you play. And it's kind of like how Taco Justice over there has the fireball. I love the fire elements. So I had one turret that caused burn to victims, while the other turret that I threw down does like a flaming fire. So it'll shoot out, and then that trail that the arrow takes, it's just lights the ground on fire. So it does damage over time as long as he's in that vicinity. I had one of my weapons that I had equipped was the firebrand, so it's like shoots out Molotov cocktails to do additional fire damage. And the thing is, like the burning effect just stacks. It just stacks on him. And then I think I had the twin daggers that did inflicted bleeding. So that also did the damage over time. And I would throw the turrets out on one on each side, so that, and I'll just keep him walking back and forth in between so that it's just shooting at him constantly. Oh, that's a little bit of a cheesy tactic, but you know what? I beat it and I was so proud of myself, and nobody's going to take that from me. Nobody.
Congratulations.
I was so happy. Like and the thing is like I think I died the level after that, but I was so proud of myself. I'm like, I'm going to do it again and again. And I've been addicted. I'm enjoying it. I love this series. So Motion Twin did a great job at luring me into this genre that I wouldn't normally gravitate towards. So those are my impressions, and I highly suggest like everybody, you need to go and play this game. I think it's available on PC, PS4, Xbox, and I think the Switch as well.
Yeah, let me just look at that.
This
You know, I
could be
have
your
that up.
Contra. This could be. You should give
This
it a
could be
try.
my Contra?
Yes. Yes.
How so?
Because of the difficulty that's in it.
Oh
I
man.
mean, you won't get 3 lives. You only have really 1, but you know, it's okay. It actually is okay. It's a lot of fun.
But you're saying that if you die, you start back from the beginning of the level. That's what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's like with every level, there's like 2 different stages that can branch onto other stages, so that there's not exactly one set path to get to the end of the game. But see how Taco Justice, he knows. He really wants that game. You should go and get it. I feel like
September's
you
right
won't
around the
regret it.
corner.
What happens in September?
September's right around the corner, and there's a lot of Destiny stuff happening.
It's
I'm
okay.
gonna be
It's still August, so you can play it for the next 2 weeks.
I'm gonna be buried. Platforms include PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, Macintosh app operating system. People still say Macintosh, Microsoft Windows, and Linux. Yeah. So that looks exciting. Maybe I'll play it in the future, but right now,
Me too.
I don't know.
You need to.
Max Bunny says I'll wait for the humble Dead
Yes.
Cells monthly bundle. That's what's going there. So I'm gonna assume that no one here in the chat has any thoughts with the ninja stuff as it relates to he only wants to play with his dude bros and no women. So that's pretty much I guess we can begin wrapping up. Okay, so a couple of things I definitely want to mention. There are certain things I did see for this episode 464. I'll add into the show notes that we did not specifically mention in this episode, but I'll have it in the show notes for you guys because I want to make sure you have that. The This show was really, really dope. I really enjoyed it. I felt it was relatively shorter than most shows. Glad you guys joined us in the chat. That is always dope. And I just want to make sure that we have we have everything. That's pretty much it. So Daniela, if no one has any thoughts before we close out, you can close us out.
Really? Already?
Yeah, yeah. It went by really fast today.
It did. It really did. All right. Thanks for tuning in to the show radio. You can find the show radio on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you haven't yet, head over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcatchers and subscribe, rate, and review our show. For our show notes, donation options, or our podcast archives, please check out the description of your podcast app or visit theshowradio.info. So thanks for tuning in and see you guys on the next episode.